Welcome to Why They Buy webinar. My name is Jack. I'm your host today. In this webinar, I would like to first of all ask you a couple of questions. How many of you have actually got some sales training before? Put on the chat. And how many of you have gone through certain sales training before? Again, put on the chat because I want to see. So the question for you is that, are you still looking for another way to make sales? Knowing that sales is pretty important, isn't it? Here's my question. I have been to many sales training before. I have also learned from many gurus. But one thing I found that is a bit more perturbing is the fact that many of them, in fact, every single one of them has taught me how I should sell. The more important question, and in fact, the only question, is why your prospects, why your customers, or why your clients buy. Isn't it true? So in this webinar, we are going to deep dive the concept of why they buy. What's the motivation behind your prospects, your customers, your clients, or even your loved ones? We'll talk about this later. Why they say yes to you, why they will hire you, why would they engage you for your services, for your products, for yourself. Okay, so here we go. Before I start, I would like you to put off your phone, avoid all the distraction. There's a saying that if you pay attention to what you learned today, wherever you are watching it right now, you will get the maximum. So take good notes. You may want to take off a piece of paper, pen, to make sure that you jot down copious notes, and you want to learn while you are in a quiet place. So go ahead and turn off all the distractions right now, because in a moment, we are going to deep dive in this webinar known as Why They Buy. Before I start, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you for registering in this webinar, because it is not easy for you to take time off, knowing that I know everyone is busy in their life. So the fact that you're watching this webinar means a lot to me. So on that note, thank you very much. So before I start, I would like to introduce Sherry Tree, our founder and CEO. So allow me to introduce her, and here's her message.
Hi, Sherry Tree, founder and CEO of Bankcode, and I want to do an amazing endorsement for our certified and licensed trainer, Mr. Jack Wong. I've known him for several years. He's a fantastic trainer. We're honored to be able to work with him, and he's teaching a revolutionary methodology called B.A.N.K, designed to increase your sales up to 300%. Make sure you get back with him because he can teach you how to unlock the secrets, the science, and the system to supercharge your sales in less than 90 seconds, and you can take that to the bank.
Exactly. So the question for all of you is that, why do we have this product called B.A.N.K? And how many of you haven't heard of B.A.N.K before? So here's the truth. Sherry has been teaching B.A.N.K across the world, and some of you may have searched on her profile on her internet to notice that she has been in sales for a long time. However, B.A.N.K was only introduced in Asia in 2012. So not long ago, Sherry came to Asia to promote this product. And the funny thing is that I found that it's fascinating because it is the tool that finally had taught me a very big lesson. As I said at the beginning of this webinar, why your prospect buy? It is the question, isn't it? Okay, so without further ado, let's begin with this presentation called Why They Buy. And today, wherever you're watching this webinar, all I want you to do is to ask yourself why your prospects buy. That's the key. So allow me to introduce you to, introduce me to yourself, introduce me to yourself. And my name is Jack Wong. I'm a certified and licensed trainer with Bankcode. And this is the standard way for us as B.A.N.K trainer to introduce us. So I've been in online sales for 17 years B2B and 7 years in the B2C sales. So I've been doing sales for a very long time. Like I said at the very beginning, I have been doing sales for a long time, but it is Sherry Tree who taught me the concept of why they buy. I've achieved my 6-figure business by 3rd year of me becoming an entrepreneur, and that was 2014. And in 2018, I was awarded a US $100,000 club award I received personally from my teacher in Vancouver, British Columbia. So this is one of my proudest moments of learning how to close using this product called B.A.N.K. My mission, my company mission, is to change lives of 1 million entrepreneurs and even more. And finally, how many of you consider yourself a lifelong learner? And me too. And how many of you have university degree? In fact, I have 4 degrees. I have 2 bachelor's and 2 master degrees. And I'm still learning because the school never taught me how to sell, how to do businesses, and most importantly, how to make money. And by the way, considering my passing forward, I'm actually an adjunct professor in Singapore University of Social Sciences. I'm the course coordinator teaching international taxation. So you see, this is the way in which we, the B.A.N.K trainer, teach our students, our participants, how to present themselves in this manner. Many times you notice that when you meet someone, you may just ask, what do you do? And you'll commonly receive the response, perhaps might be, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm an engineer. How many of you actually know what an engineer does? Probably. How many of you know what a lawyer does, by the way? So the way we present this way is what we call a bankified introduction. So if you have a chance to come to one of our trainings, you will know what's the meaning of bankified. Spelled B-A.N.K. I-F-I-E-D. Is a word that we created in our B.A.N.K community. So in the moment, let me introduce Sherry Tree. Sherry is actually presenting her introduction in the same way. So she has been in sales for 20 years. In fact, she started off from network marketing businesses, and later I'm going to introduce her history. And she has been teaching and has been training B.A.N.K over 100 countries. And at this point in time, to be precise, some of you like precision, isn't it? We have got 153 licensed trainers with Bankcode, and I'm one of them based in Singapore. And Bankcode is by far the #1 personality-based sales training. Our Bankcode technology, our methodology, was actually endorsed by San Francisco State University in a recently published white paper that is 37-page that suggests that Bankcode methodology actually and can create and predict, I would say to predict the customer's behavior accurately based on our technology. So we've got a white paper to back us up. Sherry Tree says that you can predict the buying behavior in less than 90 seconds because B.A.N.K is the only methodology in the world scientifically validated to predict buying behavior in such a short period of time. And you can see that we are very proud of our technology simply because we have this power. And I personally have been doing B.A.N.K for so many years, and you know what? I can do the same. If people ask, if you are skeptical, if you are thinking whether we can fulfill this promise, the answer to this question is that you only can believe it when you do it. A lot of people actually say seeing is believing. I have a different approach. What if I were to tell you that believing is seeing and doing? How many of you can relate to this? Sherry has gone to university to present this tool. In fact, Harvard University is a place where Sherry has spoken before, and she introduced B.A.N.K methodology to Harvard University. And the year later, Sherry went to University of California, Berkeley to do the same thing. So these famous traditional universities actually have invited Sherry to teach, to share, and to train the students to understand the scientific tool called Bankcode. And this is Brenda Cross, one of our certified and licensed B.A.N.K trainer based in the United States. And you can see that 24,000 revenue with one client that's increased in the revenue by 685%. So Brenda is one of our trainers in the United States. Birgitta, she is from Holland. Originally, she is now living in the United States. And Birgitta actually made $1 million revenue in 18 months. And she increased her revenue by 330%. So you see that some of our trainers who believe in this product have created results the way, and therefore life is never the same for them. Okay, so you have seen some trainers in United States. So I just want to pull out one of our students or my students from Malaysia, Shui. She has just completed his bank training in Jan, and this is her testimonial to me. With bank, you can double or triple your sales by closing your clients more effectively. And he said, I personally love how this whole system is designed with a step-by-step, easy to follow process where you're able to see guaranteed results if you truly believe in it, and most importantly, apply in your life. So this is a testimonial from Shui. And Sherry has traveled around the world, and this tool is not just a tool that she has taught the students around the world. She actually brought this tool to Tony Robbins, to Robert Kiyosaki, to Steve Wozniak, Les Brown. And in particular, I will just let you know that Robert Kiyosaki endorses this tool. In fact, I was surprised to see that Robert Kiyosaki actually said Sherry's sales technique in terms of bank is something that we should learn. So if you believe Robert Kiyosaki, he hardly recommend other people's products and services, but he did that. And I was very, very thrilled when I knew that from Sherry's story. So these are all the millionaires and billionaires, right? So hang on for a minute. We have got thousands of raving fans in more than 100 countries. That's what we have just said. Question for you. But Jack, how come Bankcode is not so popular in Asia? So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share with you how I'm going to promote this tool in Asia, how you can be part of my tribe, how you are able to become part of my community, to support me so that we can brand this product to benefit more people around Asia. So my objective is very simple. I have an agenda. How many of you notice that when you attend some webinar or even a live event, the person speaking to you right now would sell you something at the end? So trust me, I will never disappoint you. I'm going to make an offer at the end. However, I will only do this when I've delivered my promises to give you the values and understanding of how this Bankcode methodology exactly works. And only then, with your permission, I'm going to deliver my offer to you. Okay, so let's start. Bang. Sherry wrote this book called Why They Buy 2 years ago. And again, it is a very, very powerful book because it actually laid down Sherry's story about her experiences in sales, how she was able to close companies, Fortune 500, multi-level marketing businesses, entrepreneurs like you and me, or even some companies. So the question is that there must be something in common that enable us to be able to achieve the results that we need. And most importantly, we are talking about being able to predict the buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. So how many of you would like to be seen as a rich person, enjoy a luxurious lifestyle? Sherry had this dream, and she was featured in home magazines, and all these people, as you can see on this cover, represented successful people. And Sherry's wealth at that point is $2.9 million. So is that cool? Well, I hope that you understand that if you want to achieve the success, you've got to do something to work on it. Eventually, when you continue taking action one fine day, you will achieve the results that you need. There's a saying we always believe, I mean, from my perspective as a personal development believer, is like you can believe in something, you can visualize, you can meditate, you can think, or whatever you want. You can dream about it. Only if you take action, you will never see things happen, because law of inaction is a result. But this result is something that you and I wouldn't want. Is that true? So here it goes. Sheila Markovitz is also a bank trainer. And after she has learned from Bankcode, she made $4,000 in just one day in one event. her closing ratio has gone up from only 20% before Bankcode to 96%. Now you've got to understand, all this are success story. You may think, well, if I were to follow, study, and apply Bankcode, will I be able to achieve these kind of results? What if I'm telling you that in my case, I have just in 4 months covered entire investment of mine in Bankcode, and I've actually made profits from Bankcode. So if I'm able to share with you these stories, then what makes you think that you can't? Of course, at the end of the day, I can say anything I want. You can believe in these testimonials you want. Only if you take actions, there will be results. Agree? So let's continue. Jane Wong, she's actually one of our bank trainer from Canada. And Jane is actually a trainer, a very experienced trainer. She said she had made 22,000 increase in 90 days. And her closing ratio has gone up from 25% to 92%. Is that awesome? Okay, so think about living in an iconic life. And we have talked about this in some of our own bank training. What's that mean? Let's think about it. Living an iconic life could mean that you are enjoying the lifestyle, you are out of the rat race, and you are creating an impact by being able to be the leader of your tribe, leader of your community, and even the leader in your family. So that's what we call iconic. That is a representation of how successful you are as a result of creating impact on other people. You have a huge followers who believe in your philosophy. That's what a lot of people are dreaming for, isn't it? How many of you want to have such an iconic life? Comment on the chat box. So Sherry's story. She has started off in sales, and this is what she told me personally. When she started in sales, she makes $700 US, and she was looking at ways to increase her income. Guess what? She stumbled upon this book called The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sounds familiar? Yes, that's right. The author is Robert Kiyosaki. And guess what? She studied the book. She actually read the book page by page, line by line. And guess what happened? How many of you believe that as a direct result of reading and immersed in Kiyosaki's teaching, her income will go up? Comment on chat box. That's right. And you know what? She increased her sales to $72,000. Is that awesome? That is very, very fantastic. In 5 years, her annual income has gone up from $700 from network marketing right from the start to $72,000 US. And the story to be continued. And that's her. How many of you can recognize Sherry in the good old days? This is the picture. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is in her 20s. She looks so young, and also she looked to be successful. But the fact is that, how many of you have heard of this story? If you are not there, you can fake it till you make it. Okay? So, unfortunately, here's the truth. According to the Department of Health and Human Science and Health Services in the United States, most people will never make it to the success. In fact, by the age of 65, 54% of the people remain depending on other people. And 36% of the people will still be working. There will be 5% who have returned to the heaven. And there will be 4% who are considered financially independent. These are the world of people. However, the truth is that, do you notice that there is short of 1%? 1% is what we call the wealthy people. How many of you would want to leave the 54%, the 36%, and go to the 4 and the 1%? Comment on the chat box. Here's my question. How are you going to do that? As I'm actually doing this webinar, speaking to most people, I believe that you guys are from Asia. Isn't our life very stressful? If you're having a job, many people that I know who have a job basically are talking about working from 9 o'clock, and some people work from 8 o'clock to 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and even for weekends, the time is devoted to the job. So the question is that if you are forever in this rat race, how are you going to do it? How are you going to get out of the rat race and do something differently? Especially just now, I asked some of you to comment whether you want to have this iconic life. Okay, let's not talk about iconic life. Let me talk about a life that creates time and money freedom. Or you might be doing something for your family. So think about what would be the strategies that enable you to be able to achieve these goals. So the question is that Robert Kiyosaki says that the ability to sell is the #1 skill in business. Like I said earlier, the schools never ever taught us how to sell. So when I first learned how to sell from other gurus, teacher, I thought it was cool because selling is something that I have never learned in the past, and yet the teachers have given me a different perspective of what selling actually means. So I learned that I can push people to buy from me. I can force them to the corner and say yes to me. And even better, I can actually manipulate my product, my service catalogs to influence them to buy from me with half-truth. How many of you have been the victims of this kind of sales tactics before? What if today I'm going to share with you that it's not matter how you sell your product or services. You are selling you. And all you need to do is to understand why they buy, whether this product or services is in need by them, and all you need to do is to provide clarity. And eventually, if they say yes, because it is the right time, they like you, they trust you, they believe that this product can help them, that's all you need from a yes. A yes is pretty simple. Question: most people don't know how to get a yes because they don't understand why the customers, why the prospects, and why the clients buy. Let's continue. So let's just check on some statistics. So this is about sales professionals. According to Salesforce.com, 67% of the salespeople have missed quota, which means that there are so many people that are not able to perform well. So the statistics says that 87% of the salespeople felt not adequately prepared when they present the sales presentation to the customers and clients. And worse still, 66% of the customers felt turned off by the sales professional's sales presentation. Question, comment on the chat box. Are these statistics alarming? If you think about it, these people should be able to perform well, but guess what happened? Many times when I learned sales, I was told by the teacher that sales is a number game. How many of you agree sales is a numbers game? So therefore, you may have heard this before. Have you been told that in order to get more yeses, you must have to get the most what? Yes, although I cannot hear you now, comment on the chat box. You hear that in order to get more yeses, you have to get more no's. Yes, subconsciously you have been conditioned to get more no's. No wonder sales is so difficult, because at the end of the day, if you get a no, how many of you realize that that's actually a rejection? And the more rejections you get, the more fear you have. This is why most people have given up in sales, because sales means rejection. How many of you realize that sales is actually not just a numbers game? Because no matter whether you believe in artificial intelligence or robots, you still have to deal with human beings. As a result, isn't it true that sales is a people's game? In order to get more yeses, if you know how to do it properly, you have to get more yeses. And I thought that makes more sense. Like, why would I, in order to get more yeses, have to receive more no's? It just sounds not logical, isn't it? So what happened is we have got this idea that I'm using Bankcode to be able to get more yeses from the prospects, from the customers. So that's what we are talking about in this webinar. Let's look at this trainer.
Hi, I am Stephanie Bonti-Lebert, and I am a singer, voice coach, and trainer in Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C. Before learning Bank 3 years ago, I had a successful business, but I really wanted to take it to the next level. So after studying and implementing Bankcode's step-by-step system, I was able to go 30 days without a no. And I was able to generate an extra $10,000 in the last 2 weeks of the year when most businesses are slowing down for the holiday. Even better, just 2 months later, I generated $50,000 in sales and won a $5,000 shopping spree on Rodeo Drive. Even more important than all of that, Bankcode has really helped me learn and understand how to communicate with everyone in my life, especially my husband Bill and my son Braden. We all just get along better now. The extra money that I'm able to generate in my business helps us live the lifestyle we really want to live, and I'm able to pursue more of what I love. Thank you, Sherry Tree, for bringing this powerful language to the world and for creating a community of people who truly understand the value of being able to connect and communicate with every single person in life and in business.
So this is Stephanie, one of our bank trainer in the United States. She is a high performer, and in fact, she is one of our leaders in the bank community. And the fact is that if you remember what she said, this is not only a tool that helps her achieve her goal of having 30 days consecutively without a no. Most importantly, it also improves her relationship with her family. So this tool that I want to present to you called the Bankcode is pretty powerful. In fact, my whole family, my son, my 2 daughters, and my wife all are speaking in the same language, because I realized that if I have to present this tool to my students, my participants, and my customers, I have to start from within, and I have to start with people around me. So my family actually speak Bank as well. So I can relate to Stephanie's story. Okay, let's continue. So in Bank, what we are saying is that we will help our clients to increase their sales up to 300%. Now the question is, how many of you have been to other sales training whereby the teacher, the guru explain and promises to you that, well, after I have done my course, I'm able to help you increase your sales by 18 to 84%. Or I can help you to increase your sales by 77.6%. I begin to wonder how these numbers came from, simply because I don't know whether this number can be proven. So when it comes to this particular tagline, increase your sales up to 300%, it is not something that we make up. In fact, it can be explained logically with a scientific method. How many of you are fascinated with this? So let's face it, if you have a sales presentation, knowing that there are 4 types of people or sales personality, if you happen to be a blueprint, chances are you should be able to deal with the blueprint pretty easily. But that means because you're so used to the blueprint's languaging, you may not be able to connect with the other 3 types of personality, which means that you will be able to close generally 25% of sales of your community, isn't it? What if you are able to pick up the languaging of action, so that you are not only be able to close the blueprint, now you're able to close the actioned people. So your sales can be up to 100%. And what if you now also learned the language of the nurturing people that enables you to be able to close them, and therefore your sales can be increased up to 200%. And finally, just imagine if you now know how to speak and tap on the world of the knowledge people, what if you are able to communicate and connect with them? Isn't it true scientifically and mathematically, or at least speak from logic, that your sales can be increased up to 300%? Is there a promise? No, because if this is so simple, I would not be doing this webinar right now. I will be going out to BC closing sales. Why? Because it still requires some sort of training. Because if you just learn the idea, if you just know the methodology, it's not able to help you work simply because you still need some sort of training. So let me ask you a question. What if we all want to see a change in the world? And in order to do that, we just need one idea. So what if we can have this idea to be able to change the world? How many of you think that it's possible? Comment on chat box. Okay? So what if B.A.N.K is the solution? First of all, we believe three things. Number one, B.A.N.K is personality based, because we believe sales is not just to one group of people. We buy based on our personality, our own values. B.A.N.K is people focused, because remember I said sales is not just a numbers game. We are interacting and connecting with people. So it is people based or people focused. And most importantly, you can learn this sales tool. You can focus on connecting with people. There are tools out there who are not talking about making money or making profits. B.A.N.K is profit driven. So we believe in B.A.N.K, personality based, it is people focused, and it is profit driven. So now come back to Sherry's story. So she has stumbled upon this problem of $72,000 sales. She wasn't very happy. So what did she do? Okay, she learned many other types of personality profiling tools. How many of you have somehow in the past have done some form of personality assessment? Comment on chat box and let me know what type of personality assessment you have done before. But one thing is that she was so fascinated with all these personality profiling tools because they all give her new knowledge about how to discover her personality. But somehow, not long later, she discovered that these tools do not really help her. So from fascination, it turns to frustration. She was frustrated with the fact that these tools are only able to help her discover herself. But in the selling situation, who is the most important person? Is the other guy. That's right. So I need to learn the other guy's personality, not mine. So she said, I need to come up with something that enables me to be able to understand the personality of the prospect. So she reverse engineering all these tools and then come up with something called B.A.N.K, which she has then used. And using her tools, she was able to hit $500,000, which represents 695% after she learned how to use B.A.N.K to close sales. And guess what? Within 3 years, she was able to hit her first $1 million revenue. How many of you honestly would love to have $1 million of revenue in just 3 years? Comment on chat box. Okay, let's imagine if it's not 1 million. What if it's just $500,000? Or it's just 10% of $500,000, $50,000. How many of you believe seriously it will help you a lot? I'm not just kidding you. Isn't it true that the cost of living is getting very expensive right now? If you are not able to increase your sales capacity, increase your income, sooner or later, your expenses will go up and your income is not able to be accelerated. You will have a serious problem. And I have friends in Singapore, I know, who are actually living on paycheck every single month, and they're still worried about whether they will lose a job, whether they will be able to cover their ever-escalating cost of living. This is the truth. So is that an expense problem or is that an income problem? Let's think about it. Question is that if not now, what are you going to do to raise your income earning capacity? Okay, let's continue. So Sherry has developed this tool, Bankcode, which is now the #1 personality-based sales training. Why are we so proud to say that we are the #1? Because indeed, this tool has been in the market for more than 20 years. We have this very strong track record. The question is that if you know other sales training tools, they might be teaching you how to sell, They may be using the personality methodology to teach you how to increase the sales, but just remember one thing. None of these tools has taught me why the prospects buy. It is good to discover myself well, but I don't need to know this in the selling situation. That's the problem. And the question, therefore, is what's the secret? What's the secret of Bankcode? So let's think about it. Earlier on, I said that sales is not a numbers game. It is a people game. So Brian Tracy said that all business is a people's business. How many of you agree? Comment on chat box. Simply because if you do not know how to interact with people, you make no sales, right? So what's the science behind B.A.N.K? Well, remember we said that B.A.N.K is personality based. So we said that the personality of all people can be divided into 4 types. So in short, we call them B.A.N.K. B stands for blueprint, A stands for action, N stands for nurturing, and K stands for knowledge. So in short, B.A.N.K. We've discovered this tool based on we've discovered this 4 personality type using something that we go back to the history of Hippocrates, who is the Greek physician, and back in the 400 BC, the 4 temperaments into his medical practice. So we believe that many of these tools that you can see on screen, DISC, MBTI, color code, even animals, they are cool. The question is that how many of you notice that they are only helping you find out who you are? So the question is that what is the difference between, let's say, DISC, D-I-S-C, if you are looking at my screen, DISC, D-I-S-C, and B.A.N.K. So what we are saying is that DISC and B.A.N.K are the same, except they are completely different. Because B.A.N.K talks about something called biology, spelled B-U-Y, as you can see on the screen. It is something that we created in our B.A.N.K community, suggesting that it is the buying behavior which is more important than the psychology, which is the tool like DISC or MBTI is seeking to address. Only 18% of the buyers will buy from a salesperson who doesn't match the buyer's personality type, and 82% success when personality types are aligned. This came from Charlie Good, a growth play company, saying that if you know and match the personality type of your buyers, your chances of closing the sales is very high. How many of you noticed that? So San Francisco State University, in my early presentation, endorses the B.A.N.K methodology in this paper, in this 37-page white paper. So comment on chat box if you would like to receive a copy of this white paper. I'm happy to send it to you. And you know what? I have got participants, at least one this year, who is asking for this 37-page white paper. So don't feel bad and think that it is a scam. I have this 37-page white paper that can confirm this methodology is scientifically proven and validated by San Francisco State University. So Albert Einstein says, I'm sure you have seen this quote before, any fool can complicate things. It takes a genius to simplify them. I've got a lot of feedback from my customers, my participants in my live workshops, who said that B.A.N.K is far easier to understand and to be used as compared to tools such as MBTI and DISC. I mean, this is very interesting because after 1 day of learning B.A.N.K, my participants are speaking in B.A.N.K languages. How fast is that transformation? Like it took me so long to immerse in the language of, say, Myers-Briggs type indicator, MBTI. But within just a short period of time, I can tell, I can use, I can apply B.A.N.K. So wouldn't it be cool to use a tool that is easy, that is simple, and you and I can do it to create results? Let's think about it. So we talk about crack the code, and by cracking the code, we really mean cracking the code. So question for you, have you watched this movie called Da Vinci Code? If you do, comment on chat box. If you don't, just search around because I believe that is still on YouTube. So in Da.Vinci Code, Tom Hanks, the character, has to crack the code to come to get this thing called the Holy Grail. So in front of the screen, you see this thing called crypttext. There are two components, which is the cryptology, which is that cylinder, and the codex, which is the written script of scroll. So the movie says that if the code is cracked incorrectly, there's a vial of vinegar that will come out and dissolve the Holy Grail, and this secret is gone immediately. So let's think about it in cell. Isn't it true that you might have only one opportunity to get a yes from your prospect? And it means that you cannot get a no. So imagine if you get a no from your prospect. Isn't it similar to Da.Vinci Code, whereby the vinegar dissolves the Holy Grail? Comment on chat box whether you can relate to this. So you may have only one cell. So you're only one opportunity. So this question is that what type of presentation should you make to your prospect? So Tony Robbins has this famous quote, let your prospect determine your presentation. Let your prospect determine your presentation. It's not about you, it's about them. I'll say it again. It's not about you, it's about them. How many of you in a business, when you present your product or service, you have only one presentation? If you do, comment on chat box. One. How many of you have more than one presentation? It's rare, but I know there are people who have more than one presentation. Good job. I give credits to you guys. Congratulations. The question is this: if you have only one presentation, this is a common mistake. It means that you have 25% of chances to deliver the script rightly to your prospect, which means that you will have 75% of the time delivering the wrong script. How many of you notice this is the equation? And 3 out of 4 situations where when you deliver your own script, guess what happened? You are sending your people, your potential buyers, to your competitors, and your competitors will not thank you. How many of you know what I'm talking about? How many of you, seriously, I'm talking about serious matters now, think that it doesn't make sense to send your prospects to your competitors? Correct? So therefore, when we come to bank, what we need is to understand the buying behavior of our prospect. And then we'll use the right script, because we always have 4 presentations. How many, please? Comment on chat box. 4, correct. So 4 presentations, so that we know if the prospect is nurturing, and you by default are a blueprint. You know how to present in a nurturing way to connect, convey your message, and close your nurturing prospect. So you need to be flexible. And sometimes when I was doing this piece in front of the room, I actually would tell my participants the same thing. You have 4 presentations all the time for your product and services. If you are not having 4, go and create 4 presentations. But the question is that, Jack, how do I create? Which is why you need some form of training, isn't it? So at the end, I will talk about how you can create 4 presentations. And if you're speaking in front of the room where you cannot present they cannot present to the group of audiences in 4 different presentations, it doesn't make sense. You've got to learn how to connect with different types of participants in your room by speaking 4 languages. So I just repeat myself one more time. 4 presentations for your one product and service, and 1 presentation covering all 4 types of personalities in the room when you're making a group presentation. Is that challenging? When I first learned Bankcode, yes, it was challenging. After a while, when I practice and I practice and practice, that's right. What's the word? Practice. It becomes so easy, because practice makes what? Type on chat box. Practice make what? That's right. It's not improvement. Practice make permanence. It is ingrained in your mind. That's right.
Hi there, I'm Brenda Cross, and I'm from the Bay Area, California. I split my time between here and the Big Apple of New York City. I'm a corporate trainer specializing in communications, and I started up with Bankcode over 7 months ago because I wanted to expand my business and my revenues and also bring this system into my training. And it's been a game changer. In my first 40 days and my first training using the bank materials, I cracked everyone's code, and as a result was able to change my approach and my delivery based on who each person was. And it resulted in me getting 4 out of 4 stars from 100% of the participants, and that wouldn't have been possible without Bank. And even better, it resulted in me turning a one-day training into an open-ended ongoing contract. So I took it from $3,500 up to $24,000. That's a 685% increase, almost a 7x return. Pretty incredible. And Bank has been giving me incredible results in my personal life as well. In particular with my niece, she is a high knowledge, and I struggled to connect with her. And using Bank, I'm able to incorporate some science into my humor, which gives us a place to connect, and it makes my day to see her smile and laugh. And we're building a better bond and relationship. I am so grateful to Brett Yeager for introducing me to Bankcode, and to Sherry Tree and the entire team with Bankcode. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
So Brenda's story is very similar to Stephanie earlier on. Bank is not just a tool to be used in business. She talked about using the tool with her niece, who happens to be a knowledge person. Question for you. Is it again and again you see amazing story around the world? And I would just share with you one thing. I happen to have my daughter. I have 1 son and 2 daughters, and they are all different. So my middle one, I always call my middle one my mini-me. And we can connect very easily because our bank codes are pretty similar. However, the truth is, my son and my younger daughter's bank codes are very different. Have I not learned how to use Bankcode and apply this to my family, I and my son till today may not still talk to each other. It was only just, really stories aside, I sidetrack a little bit. It was only a year ago that my son finally understand why daddy, me, perform my roles in the house my way. And he finally know how to connect with me. And we begin to chill and thrill. And our family has what we call a family activity, which is once a month, our karaoke session somewhere outside for 2 hours. And we make it happen once a month to connect and have fun. Because our Bankcode, my son's Bankcode requires this. So I make my effort of doing the same. Okay? So Bank talks about a system, which is a step-by-step system that if you learn it, you'll be able to pick up the language, you'll be able to understand how it works easily. So when we talk about the Bankcode, we divide it into the 4 personality types. In this webinar, let's just do some basic understanding. Blueprint, the first word, blueprint, which talks about somebody who lives in the box. Okay? So action, on the other hand, action is someone who lives not in the box, but outside the box. Nurturing, someone who loves to recycle. We are saying that someone who loves to recycle the box. And finally, knowledge, someone who doesn't live in the box, not outside the box, not recycle the box, but guess what? Re-engineer the box and come up with the box by itself. So this is the very quick differentiation of these 4 Bank personality. So the question is that if you have watched this webinar before, good. Have you cracked your code? If you haven't watched this webinar before, or if I haven't sent you a link to help you crack the code, would it be cool to find out your Bankcode? So here's the deal. Bankcode is a system that allows you to obtain your bank code. And if you become one of our customers, you will be able to do the same for your clients, which means that whenever you ask your clients to crack the code, you'll be able to receive this thing called the bank code, which is 4-letter. Let's say it's B.A.N.K. So think about it. Earlier on, I said that if you make the wrong presentation, you have 75% chance to make a wrong presentation. If you make a right one, it's 25. Now, for those who are mathematically sound, you look at this particular slide. How many of you notice that there are altogether 24 combinations? So you could have a B.A.N.K. You could have a B.A.K.N. so on and so forth. So which means that your chances of having the right presentation in the exact order is only 4%. It's not even 25, it's 4. So what is the difficulty in achieving a perfect presentation when you do not know the bank code in the exact order from your prospect? I don't know. So you think about how you can achieve that. Is easy? No, it's not. It's very difficult. If you do not know how to crack the code, or you don't have a system, you don't have a methodology that helps you to do this, you all do will be by guessing. And how many of you realize that when you are guessing, it doesn't mean that you are always correct? Correct? Okay, good. So you only have like 1 out of 24 chance or 4% chance to get the right order of someone's bank code. So here's the deal. If you know how to crack your prospect's code, and if your prospects give you the code, there's no guessing game. Many times I like to do this in the presentation. I said that, well, here's 4 cards. And all I need you to do is to follow my instruction to sort out the cards. And guess what happened? The prospect will quietly, simply follow the orders and give me the orders. And guess what happened? When the prospect gives me these 4 cards in the order, that's how I know the bank code. If you want to meet someone, say tomorrow, what if you have an online technology where you can send a link to your prospect and ask the prospect to crack the code first so that you can do some research, have yourself prepared for the meeting while you fully understand how Bankcode works. So cracking the code to me is part of my life. I would not hesitate to ask someone to crack the code anytime, which is the reason why when you come to this webinar, if you have not cracked the code, never mind, I will make sure that I will ask you to crack the code. But most of you, based on my registration list, will have already cracked the code. So guess what? I know how to talk to you. Is that scary? No, it's not. All along, I'm saying that there are some people who say, wow, Jack, you can actually speak the language. Is that manipulative? All boils down to one thing, have good intention. Are you selling them something that is illegitimate? Are you selling them unethically? That is the question. If you don't have any, if you do it only for legitimacy, you believe that your product, service can change lives of other people. If you do it ethically, what's this thing called manipulation? I don't understand. So you can actually get someone's bank code in 90 seconds through this process called bank value cards. I just show you in the live class how this is done, and you can do it online as well. So all you need to do is to get them to sort the cards. And in a typical Why They Buy workshop presentation live, I will actually have a chance to offer you these cards, which is $20 one set. And you can actually buy 5 sets. And there's actually a version for the kids. How cool is that? And then with these cards, all you need is just to get your prospect to sort. In a networking meeting, when someone asks, so, sir, what do? You just need to do this. Can you do me a favor? And then give this card to the prospect and invite the prospect to sort the card. There's a specific instructions that we teach in our live training. And by following this, and then when the prospect gives you back the order of these 4 cards, and you can then say, well, this is what I do. Then you can continue your story. I teach all this in live class. Okay? So that's why we say that with Bank2, if you know the secrets, the science, the system, you'll be able to supercharge your sales up to 300%. And our tagline is, dig it to the bank. That's right. So now, knowing that this is what bank is about, why do you need bank? The next question is how to participate in bank. What's the solution? So what separates the entrepreneur successes from the failures? The answer may be in training. How many of you realize that, yes, you can figure yourself out? And I hate to say that there are people who don't want to spend time to invest their time to learn this. Instead, they continue learning by making mistakes. How many of you have done this before? Comment on chat box that you do not get proper training. You decide to let mistake teach you a lesson. How many of you notice that sometimes these mistakes are costly and there's no second chance in some cases? So the reason why I'm so passionate about this kind of training is that what if the training allows you to learn this tool properly with proper guidance and hand-holding in the short-term period to shorten the learning curve without you spending more time trying to figure out by yourself? Is that efficient? Do you want to be efficient to fast track your success by achieving the result? That's my point. If you still believe that you can figure it out yourself, good luck. I mean, I have only like 20, 30 more years to live. I don't know how many years you have. I'm a bit worried that if you, every time if you want to try this by yourself, how many times can you do this? That's the question. So the question again is like, what is bank for? Who is the proper or ideal users of bank? If you are in sales, if you are in financial services, if you are in real estate, if you are professional, if you are online marketing, if you are doing relationship, or you may be a relationship coach, you are speakers, you are a life coach, you are a business coach, if you are education, if you are in education, if you are consultant, if you are leaders of the organization, or if you represent a company, bank is perfect for all of you. It actually covers like every single person. You know why? Can anybody comment why? Why this is the case? Good. Same, got it. The reason why bank is perfect for these people, which means you, is because everybody needs to sell. Everybody needs to communicate. Is it true that whether you are a salesperson, you are a parent, you still have to learn how to communicate effectively in the speaking the same language so that your message can get heard? True? So that's why bank is for every one of us. Les Brown, a renowned motivational speaker, said that bank is a game changer for every entrepreneur and sales professional. This system will strengthen, what's the word? Yes, strengthen your confidence. What's the word? Confidence. Expand your selling skills. And keyword, dramatically, what's the word again? Dramatically increase your income. That's what Les Brown said. Because when Sherry introduced Bankcode to Les Brown loves it. That's why Les Brown gives Sherry this endorsement.
Aloha, my name is Mamie Lamley, and I am from Hawaii, and I live in Colorado Springs, Colorado. When I was introduced to Bankcode, I was a burnt-out lead trainer with a global software company. I was working 18-hour days, making only $45,000 a year. It was a stressful time in my life because I was about to lay off over 39 people in my organization. After learning and implementing the bank system, I was able to save all 39 jobs. I did this by optimizing skill sets and expertise and placing these employees into the positions they excelled in, all because of Bank. As a team, we landed a multi-million-dollar contract, and as a result, within 6 months, I received a $50K bonus, a promotion to Global Implementation Manager, taking my salary from $45K to $120K a year. That's over 278%. increased. And I reduced my day by 8 hours, giving me the time freedom to choose to care for my mother, who is now thriving from lung cancer. I got to paddleboard and enjoy my spouse and children even more. Thank you, Dwayne Richards, for introducing me to B.A.N.K, and to the genius, Sherry Tree. B.A.N.K has absolutely been a game changer for me.
So if you have heard the introduction, Mammy is actually saying aloha. Okay, she is actually from Honolulu, Hawaii. And the very fact is that she uses B.A.N.K to save jobs in her company situation. 39 people's life was saved because of Bankcode. Now, I will have to confess that this kind of testimonials might seem to be very, very rare, talking about you as an employee using B.A.N.K to save jobs of other employees. But let me ask you this question. Imagine you are your boss. You don't want to lay off any employees in your company. In other situations I heard of, what if you have no other choice? You've got to do it because if you don't, you would not be able to save the company. And knowing how to raise the revenue, raise the income, raise the sales by deploying people to the right job based on the Bankcode. Isn't it cool that Bankcode actually saves jobs?
Hi, my name is Dawn Schuler, and I'm in Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. Since 2005, I've been a business coach and consultant, and while I had great success with my clients, I certainly didn't have all the sales and conversions I wanted. Since becoming a B.A.N.K trainer almost 2 years ago, I've increased my closing rate up to 75%, added tens of thousands of dollars of additional revenue, and even generated $50,000 of sales in just under a few hours. And it gets better than that. Because of B.A.N.K, I'm able to connect more powerfully with others in my business and my life, especially my husband Mark and my 2 daughters. I'm excited because we keep getting more opportunities and more contracts, and I can't wait to see the lifestyle that we can create. I'd like to thank Stephanie Bonte-Lebert for introducing me to B.A.N.K and showing me the magic that's possible. And I'd like to thank Sherry Tree for bringing this system to the world and truly creating one world, one language. Thank you.
Do you notice that Dawn's testimonial again talks about her business and her relationship with the husband? So I have to repeat one more time that B.A.N.K is not just a sales personality tool. It actually, in my word, in Sherry Tree's word, save marriages, save family relationship. It's because if we misunderstand each other, that's the trigger of a divorce or separation of a relationship. So you see, you have heard a couple of our B.A.N.K trainers in the United States. They are all referred not by Sherry Tree personally. It's after one person who has successfully created results, then start introducing this to the people in the circle. So B.A.N.K trainers are recruited in that manner. If you benefit from this program, from this product, from this technology, share it with your loved ones, share it with other people who might benefit from this. This is how we get this message across. And when Bankcode is coming back to Asia, I'm tasked by Sherry and Esther Wildenberg, who is our president of Codebreakers Technologies, a very important message to all of you that we need to promote, not because we want the profits only. We need to promote Bankcode because we believe in Asia, there are many people who need to hear this product to save lives, to turn around their companies, their performances in the company, or if they are entrepreneurs, to help them increase the sales, knowing that Asia, a lot of people are under pressure. So Sherry has asked me to be very aggressive in promoting Bankcode so as to create this awareness to people living in this part of the world. And this mission that I have to change 1 million entrepreneurs around the world wouldn't be able to be achieved if I do not agree with Sherry that I'm willing to take this task. And that's the reason why I'm doing this webinar. That's the reason I'm doing live training. I do whatever I can within my powers to bring bank's awareness to all of you. The quality of your life is direct proportion to the quality of your relationships, says Tony Robbins. So B.A.N.K, I believe personally, because we said it is one world, one language. What if we have different parts, we are in different parts of the world, yet we are speaking in B.A.N.K language. We live in a world with 7 billion people. There are 6,500 languages spoken. What if there's only one language? Say B.A.N.K has the power to connect the entire human race. I'm very happy because I am connecting with a lot of B.A.N.K trainers in the communities. As I'm getting more and more activities in Bankcode, I begin to connect with so many wonderful people in the community living across 10,000 miles away in North America. This is what I call is a cool thing, because I have always been working in a small team. At the very beginning, I worked alone. Now we create opportunities for each others, and we actually leverage our strengths, our network, and do businesses together. So isn't it cool that you can, through this technology, be able to connect with people from different parts of the world and do businesses together? Leverage is important. How many of you agree? Comment on chat box. So look at Sherry and Esther. I don't have such cool picture because many times I am very busy in changing lives of my people. So I do not really have all these cool picture, but you look at this picture, how many of you will love, if you love all this cool picture because you love to travel around the world, you love to explore different parts of the world, meet different cool people, that might be your lifestyle, isn't it? So if you want to travel the world, you now have the time to do this. What if you are able to enjoy this, live the dream? We call living the dream. Again, what's your dream? Comment on chat box. What is your dream? Is it because you want to travel around the world? Is it because you want to help other people? Or you just want to spend time with your loved ones, which you have not been given the undivided attention in the past? So what's your dream? If you are not clear with your dream, you won't be able to achieve it. Isn't it true? Clarity is power. Clarity is what, please? Clarity is power. What if you are able to live in an iconic life, which means that not only you are a successful person, but people look up upon you to be the icon, to give you the respect, to follow your direction and your guidance, because now you are the true leader who can impact, influence, and inspire people around you to take action that will help them to create a better version of themselves. How many of you would love to be an icon? So the question is that, are you ready to crack the personality code and take it to the bank? Comment on chat box. So the solution, like I said, is B.A.N.K. At this point, I would need you to give me the permission for me to explain the solution. So comment on chat box. I would love to see the yes. Otherwise, I would not be able to continue. Okay? So thank you. Yep, I see the yeses. Excellent. Good. Thank you very much. So you see that what is the solution? B.A.N.K. Personality-based, people-focused, and profit-driven. That's our mandate. So we have tools, we have training, we have technology in Bankcode to help us to learn how to apply these tools. So it's innovative and industry disruptive, because at the time when I do this presentation, we are on the verge of coming up with some cooler technology, which because of the privacy and confidentiality, I'm not allowed to share with you right now. But I do know some very inside secret and was thrilled by the fact that we are always the forerunner in this business. A lot of the other competitors I know are trying to mimic us, are trying to model us. Like when we have our technology, they want to replicate our technology. By the time they have successfully done that, we are already another 21 steps ahead. So there's no way these people can follow us. they will always, always be followers, not leaders. So we have got books. If you haven't read Cherry Tree's Why They Buy, go and Google Why They Buy. If you do, after this webinar, I will give you a link so that you are able to go to the link and buy and get a discount, because you would want to start with reading this book called Why They Buy. In a digital version, it costs only a handful of dollars. And then once you have this Why They Buy understanding, if you believe that this is really the tool that you will pursue, you can actually go and get some other trainings or products, okay? So you can subscribe to our virtual trainings. You can actually attend our live classes. And I do live classes, by the way, in Singapore. So we have got live tools, we've got online tools, we've got live classes. So let's talk about some of our live classes. Our signature series courses consists of 4 levels. How many? That's right, 4 levels. So level 1 is basically fundamentals, where you are going to learn and understand 24 bank codes and learn how to communicate and sell to each code. So it is a basic class, yet it is powerful. And level 2 is speed coding, where you are going to learn cracking their code instantly in person, on the phone, looking at the social media, or even on the website bio. Level 3 is power scripting, where you will learn how to speak, how to read, and how to write your bankified power scripts. This is a very powerful class. If you think copywriting, how many of you actually learn copywriting or know copywriting? Imagine you incorporate the bankified power script on your copywriting. That is like the magic. Truly enough, that's the magic. A lot of copywriters are good. But what happens is that because they only are able to write based on their own bank code, they may not be able to connect with people like me, happens to be having another bank code. No matter how good the copy is, I won't buy. So what happened? Nothing happens, isn't it true? So if you learn how to write a bankified copy, speak to all 4 languages, the chances of you getting a yes will definitely be higher. How many of you agree? Comment on the chat box. And level 4, communication mastery, where you will learn the personal relationship, the dating, the marriage, the parenting, and professional life. So it is the relationship course, the aspects of Bankcode. Okay? So so apart from the live signature classes, we have this thing called the vault, where you have access online. What happens is that in the Bankcode virtual training platform, you will have this thing called the virtual interactive online training. And it's not a very simple platform. It's pretty complicated because we subscribe to a particular technology using Lightspeed. How many of you know Lightspeed? Brad Lear's company, a very famous online platform on education, whereby if you subscribe to a module, you can't complete to the next one until you have completed or successfully passed the quiz. So there's always a tracking performance tool inside the system that prevents you from skipping classes. You've got to go through one step at one time and pass the quizzes before you're allowed to move on to the next one. And each module is about 5 to 6 minutes, which is very, very manageable. It's not like 1 hour or 2 hours classes. How many of you cannot stand 1 or 2 hour classes? So in Bankcode virtual training, you have access to over 40 hours of courses, starting comprising bank fundamentals, speed coding online, power scripting online, and bank relationship online, the module that has just been introduced. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so this is a glimpse of the virtual training platform. When you have gotten into the vault, this is how it looks like. You will be able to click the start training, and then you can start your training everywhere, every time, 24/7, 365 days a year. So training isn't something you did, it's something you do, says Brad Lear, the founder of Lightspeed VT, which is the platform that we use on virtual training. Our revolutionary technology is B.A.N.K, Now, a lot of people actually don't really know what bank pass is. So let me just walk you through how it sounds like, how it looks like. So first of all, it allows you to crack the code of your prospects. By sending a link to your prospect, all you need to do is to ask a prospect to click the link. You will then see this page. And there are instructions, and Sherry even did a video to explain how this works. All the prospect needs to do is to sort the card in the order, leave the email address, leave the telephone number, leave the name, and then a sales report will be generated. If you are a Bank Pass user, okay, then you'll be able to do this yourself. If you are affiliate, let's say if you decide to be our affiliate, you will have your own affiliate link, which is what you see here, such as my link, bankcode.com/Jack Wong. You would then send this link to your prospect and grab the code, and then the system will generate certain autoresponders or some promotional emails. Eventually, if they buy something, you will get credits. You will get paid for commission. So this is how it works. So this is the sales report. So once the person has completed the form, click submit, the system will automatically generate a report, a sales report which is valued $97 based on the order of the code sorted by your prospect. So there could be 24 different versions of the sales reports to be generated, catering to a specific set of bank code. How cool is that? Comment on chat box. Okay, so you can get the free bank code report, and when your prospect finishes clicking a submission, you will be notified that, okay, a person so and so has completed cracking the code, and a sales report has been sent out to your prospect. So you can actually follow up. Okay, so this is how the bank code personality report looks like. Is that cool? Okay, so what happens is this. You will be able to see and know when the report has been sent out. Your job is when you receive a notification from a system, you have to do the follow-up, right? Otherwise, you will lose the sales, correct? So this is what we have on the online Bank Pass platform. So you have this thing called the Customers Relationship Management System, or we call it the Bank Pass CRM, BCRM, where you have a snapshot of the people who have cracked the code, the reports they have, the system has sent out, their bank code order, their email address, their contact number, is all for you to follow up. So this system is pretty comprehensive. So the Bank Pass subscription, apart from the fact that you have got the online access to the vault 24/7, 365 a year, you can also have this BCRM system. So it's actually two things that come together in this Bank Pass. Okay, so this online dashboard you can see on the screen. So this cutting edge marketing, because in this series, the autoresponder is sent out based on the bank code the prospect has cracked. So it's not like the standard autoresponder. There are so many combinations of autoresponders that can be generated, depends on the orders of the bank code. So I cannot explain simply in one word how it works. When I went to the system and looked at it, I was just totally overwhelmed. I'm not a technology person. I'm not a techie. All I need to know is the system knows how to generate the reports, and that's all I need. So I don't need to worry about what autoresponders should be sent. When do they send? Everything is systemized. That actually eliminates a lot of my time worrying about how these responders should work or how the email should be sent out. Everything is kind of taken care of if you are Bank Pass subscribers. So this Bank Pass subscription, you have got unlimited bank code assessments. Now, question for you: if you have experience in other types of assessments before, do you know that every assessment tool will cost you money every time when you ask someone to do an assessment? So for example, a DISC assessment would easily cost between $29 and $60 per assessment. MBTI, $50 US. And then you've got, for example, anything else like string finders, $20. But for bank pass, it's unlimited assessment. So it's just a monthly fee. That's it. You can send as many assessments to your prospects. Suppose you have got 3,000 prospects where you want to crack the code. How many times you need to pay to crack 3,000 code? One time. It's a monthly subscription, unlimited number. So the fort, remember, is consisting of 40 hours, more than 40 hours of online courses. How many times can you access in a year? Unlimited access. As long as you are on good standing of the Band Pass subscription, which means that you pay your monthly fee, you can always access this online, 24/7, 365. So this is our revolutionary technology called Bankcode. Okay, so are you ready to increase your sales and take it to the bank? Let's talk about something else. So what is living in iconic life? You assess your winning edge and achieve your highest potential right now. So aim for iconic, commit to legendary, and live a life that is extraordinary. So how it's done? Apart from the Band Pass subscription that I've just introduced, what if we talk about training? We talk about specifically live training. Now, question sometimes is, why if you have got a virtual training, you still want to go for live training? Some of my students give me this feedback. Yes, virtual training is cool because I can access to different modules at different point in time, 24/7, 365. But there's nothing that can be replaced by this virtual training with the trainer's experience. So you have got a person in Singapore, like it or not, I've been doing bank since 2013. I learned bank in 2012. I become a certified and licensed trainer with Bankcode in 2013. And I've lived, I've act, I speak, I behave. My whole life is about Bankcode. So imagine if you were to invest in a training. Does it make sense? If you are able to have multiple times of return on investment, which is more than the cost of training. If this formula resonates with you, comment on chat box. Isn't it true? If you want to invest in anything, my concern for all of you who are watching this webinar is that you are thinking about the cost and nothing else except the cost. So allow me to teach you 2 questions that I personally use before I decide if I were to invest in any form of training. Question number 1, am I able to recover the cost of my training? If the answer is no, then that doesn't make any sense. So if question 1 is yes, I can recover the cost of training. Number 2, how fast can I recover the cost? And then multiply my return many times subsequently. That is the second question. So question 1, can I recover the cost of training? Question number 2, how fast can I recover the cost? If you can answer with certainty on these 2 questions, that training is worth attending. That's it. This is how I apply in my life whenever I'm considering whether I should attend a training. I'm not focusing on the cost, because when you focus on the cost, you will always what? Be a cost. That's right. Okay? So what if you have learned was how to get one more sale a month? Okay, if your sales value is $1, then I have nothing to say. Of course, I believe that you talk about some decent size of sales. So what if you are able to get 1 more sales per month? What if you are able to get 1 more sales per week, or even 1 more sales per day? That helps you bring money to your account. How cool is that? So Bank Pass is actually an all access pass. When you are on good standing, make your monthly payment, then all you have got is the ability to crack the code of your prospect. There will be strategies that you would need to adopt. And if you were to consider I am your mentor, you can always come to me wherever you are to make sure you can always chat with me how you should design a particular strategies to leverage on the Bank Pass. Just happened when I was doing this webinar, I was teaching my students how to create a post to be able to leverage on the bank pass technology and send it out to the prospect and crack the code. I always come up with different ideas to help my students to be successful. Not anyhow just shove the link to the other guy and ask the other guy to crack the code. You are not going to do that. If you do, don't say that you're my students, because we do not leverage our tools on that kind of situation. I'll teach you morally and ethical way to make sure that it's not like a salesy post. It's not a salesy email. I'll do it in a very elegant way because I always believe one thing: we close with finesse. That's the key, finesse. How many of you can relate to this? Comment on chat box. Okay, so the Bank Pass subscription is this. It is $199 setup fee plus $99 a month. It is a monthly subscription. So long as you continue subscribing to Bank Pass, you will be able to keep your leads and you will continue be able to access the online training all day long. That is the investment for the Bank Pass. So let me ask you a question. What if you are able to get one more sales a month? There's this something a lot of people actually ask, but how come is $99 a month is so expensive? So let me handle this objection upfront. If you are worried about additional $99 a month, there's a very serious problem in your finance. Why? Because don't tell me you cannot even fork out $99 a month to increase your sales capacity. If you have this challenge, I really, really want you to look at the way you manage your finance. You may not be my customers, fine, I'm happy with that. But I want to let you know that you may have other trouble in your finances. So go and look at that, because $99 a month is very, very worthwhile. If you are able to get one more deal from a client. Isn't it true? How many of you can relate to that? So Shelly Pereira, one of our band trainers, clocked $25,000 income in 30 days by having 2 training contracts. Okay? And Stephanie, you have seen her before in the earlier presentation. She got $50,000 income, 100% closing ratio in 30 days. Robin Egger, she got $70,000 income in 30 days, which is her best month in 20 years. And Brad Eager, a very high-tech guy, and he got $56,000 bonus in 90 days and closing a deal that had been lost. Now, I'm not suggesting that you will get this kind of result, because there's always a saying that what you do is how you do it. Based on what you do, the result will be exactly coming from you. You can't compare your result with other people. But I just want you to look at your situation right now. Imagine if you are able to close one deal just in 1 month and bring additional income to your account. How would it change your life? How would it be able to change your life and change the way your loved ones perceive you? Are you living under the pressure every single day? What if you bring income home so that you are becoming a better version of yourself? Stay, stand, and present yourself more confidently. And people begin to see a shift in you and will be willing to do more businesses with you. Let's think about all this. How would your life be in next 6 months, 12 months down the road if you make the decision to change your life? You just need a decision. How many of you can agree? It's just one decision, one yes, and your life may change. If you think the cost of education is expensive, like I said, you can try the cost of ignorance. What's the word, please? Ignorance. Ben Franklin. Because you can spend time to figure out stuff, make all the mistakes and learn from mistakes, but life is short. Life is short. How many more years can you wait to try to figure out things by yourself? I mean, if you are still young, if you are in your 20s, I can understand. But some of you may be in your 40s, 50s already. So how many more years can you figure out things by yourself? I begin to wonder. I'm 50 years old this year. I'm not going to spend another 20 years to figure out things, because by then I will have no time to enjoy my life. True? So the opportunity cost of not learning bank can be up to 300% or more of your current income. That's the cost. That's the guarantee I can give you. That's the guarantee I can give you. So you may want to also attend our signature series, the live classes. Like I've said earlier, the levels 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have in Singapore a Code Breaker Summit, which is what I do, level 1 and level 2. If you remember, level 1 bank fundamentals, level 2 speed coding. And in the Code Breaker Summits, or CBS in shorts, you have one level 1 course, which is $2,000 value. You have got a level 2 class, speed coding, $2,000 value. And you have on-hand experience with the experts. Me, if you consider I'm expert, I'm a certified licensed trainer of Bankcode. I've been doing bank for 6 years. So if you leverage my resources, my expertise, that is what you can do in life. That's what you can enjoy in live classes. What if you are able to direct access to me in the live training and my team for 2 days? When I say my team actually are bank trained. I'm not kidding you. My bank, I did a lot of encouragement to them to get trained in bank. And they are here to help you as well. And what if you are also getting the course materials, the tools, and the resources? What if you are able to have some of these supports? So the total value of this CBS is $4,000. And let me just share with you what happened in one of the CBS that I did. Just let you show this video.
Okay, so this is Sunday. If you are here in Singapore, you might be elsewhere, eating, having fun with family. I'm here in Bugis. Guess what happened? There's a group of participants who are learning this thing called bank methodology. And most importantly, they are undergoing an activity which is a highlight of this Code Breaker Summit achieving events that I'm doing in Singapore. And you can just take a look at what they are doing right now. The participants basically are going through this exercise, and the objective of that is to learn what they have learned in the morning, ask strategic questions with a view to getting their bank code. So how many times in your life have you had a conversation with someone where it's so casual, it's not connected with each other, and you find that it's a superficial conversation? And how many times would you want to have a deeper, more connected conversation? So this is why they're spending this afternoon learning with a very intense method, a deep connection for only 3 minutes to be able to crack the personality of their partner. And this is what I teach in Singapore. This is speed coding level 2.
So this is actually speed coding level 2. I mind the background noise because the participants are doing their questions using the strategies that I teach in speed coding class. And by far, this is the most fun part of the highlight of the 2-day class, because this is the time when they are put in intense pressure to be able to crack the code in just 3 minutes. I'm so proud of many of these people who have not had experience in bank training before, but all I see is the result. And result is always the proof. It never lies. When I look at the scores, I was like, oh my God, they're so much better than me when I first did this speed coding class back in 2016. Oh my God, it's so good. So you can attend one of our Code Breaker Summit in Singapore. I live in Singapore. It doesn't mean that I don't do CBS in other places. I may, however, it needs certain form of requirements. So if you want to attend, let's say a CBS that might be held in Malaysia, and we need to talk about how that can happen. Otherwise, I primarily will be doing this in Singapore. But just let you know that we have participants coming from Malaysia, Brunei, Australia, and Thailand to do a CBS in Singapore. So what's your excuse? If you think that, wow, you cannot travel out of the country to do a CBS, well, I've got participants coming to Singapore to do it. So what's your excuse? Okay? Let me come back. So you will learn in the CBS, close more sales in less time using our proven step-by-step system. You will skyrocket your income and crush your competition. You will learn how to impact your relationships and change the world. And most importantly, that's my favorite, you become the expert in biology, which is the science of buying behavior. So the offer that I make in this webinar is that you are not going to pay $4,000 for this CVS. It's only US $1,299. Okay? So you can register before the event sold out. So these are the days. They are real life classes. November 17, 18, December 1st and 2nd last year. I've just completed Jan 12 and 13, and recently Feb 16 and 17. These classes are sold out. You don't see I have a big class. The reason is that I can only manage a smaller class because I want to go very deep. In certain aspects, I actually went beyond some of the official curriculum to add values to make sure that you get most of the gist from my experience as a consultant, as a coach, as a trainer, in terms of a lot of the skills that I have. So these classes have been sold out. Hi, Jack Wong here from Singapore, certified and licensed trainer with Bankcode. We have just completed another round of Code Breakers Summit, and we have participants coming all the way from Malaysia and Singapore. Good job! What they have learned in these 2 days, the secrets, the science, and system that allows them to crack the personality code and take it to the bank! So this is the January class. So this is a January class. Hi, Jack Wong, certified licensed trainer with Bankcode. I'm so proud that we have just completed another 2 days of Code Breaker Summit in Singapore. And this time, for the very first time in the history of Singapore, we have participants from Brunei, from Australia, from Thailand, and of course from Singapore! Congratulations! So in these 2 days, they've learned the secret, the science, and the system that allows them to supercharge themselves and take it to the bank! Congratulations, everyone! Bye! So the noise, the background noise may seem to be too loud. I apologize, but you can see the enthusiasm of the participants after 2 days. And I'm so proud that people are giving me all sorts of reasons why they cannot attend the live training from Singapore. I've got a participant flying all the way from Australia, Melbourne, 9 hours to Singapore just to attend 2 days training. What is your excuse? Okay, so if you decide to invest in any of our products and services, there's a 100% money back guarantee. You have a 3 days cooling off period. In other words, we will not charge you on your credit card or actually accept your payment officially after 3 days. Within 3 days of cooling off period. So we do have a money back guarantee so that you can have 72 hours think about whether you want to proceed or not. Okay, so Robert Kiyosaki says, most people get 1 or 2 maybe opportunities in a lifetime. What is the lifetime opportunities for you? Have you got 1 already? If you do, then perhaps that could be the next one coming up shortly. Would it be this one? So let's see. So we are experiencing a dramatic annual growth. This is the truth because a lot of people in Singapore are becoming more aware of bank. Due to my aggressive promotion and activities in my circle, there are more and more people who are aware of bank training now, which is a good thing for me. At the end of the day, is it true that I've shared with you my dream, my desire, my mission is to promote bank and create awareness amongst the community in Asia. So this is a very good thing. The global opportunity for knowing bank is that we have already gotten trainers around the globe except one place called Antarctica. So if you speak to the penguin, if the penguins are bank trainers, then we have 7 continents, but Antarctica not yet. So if you do know 1 or 2 penguins in Antarctica, please let me know so that I can train them and they will be part of the bank community. Okay, so it's already spread across 100 countries, and people in Malaysia and Singapore have been exposed to bank. People from Thailand, Australia also. There's at least I know in Asia. Okay, so you can start your own bank business. And how do you do this? Well, very straightforward. You can decide to be a Bank Pass subscriber, to become a customer of Bank Pass, learn online virtual training, and adopt our CRM platform to generate leads by asking your prospect to crack the code. Or you can choose to be our affiliate, which have very affordable annual fee. Now notice this is not a monthly fee. It is an annual fee of $199 US. By being an affiliate, you will get commission. And depends on the volume of sales you have made, the commission can range from 10% to 20%. Is that awesome? Okay, so you can choose to be a Bankcode subscriber, $199 setup fee plus $99 a month. If you choose to become a Bankcode customer and an affiliate, then what happens is that there's a bundle offer, which is only $299 together as setup, and then you have a $99 a month subsequently. So I repeat, if you bundle the Bankcode and affiliate together, that will be $299. You save $199 on the setup fee for the Bankcode, and then every month you just continue your $99 subscription for Bankcode. On good standing, you have access to the virtual training and the CRM system for a lifetime. Okay, so you can potentially earn 10% to 20% commission, and depends on ranking. We do have something called the Super Banker, which is a this is the third tier of our affiliates where you can potentially earn 40% commission. So it depends on your tier that you are achieving. So I can give you a lot of details. If you want to know, not a problem. I'm happy to explain to you how exactly it works. Okay, so you can get started and take it to the bank right now as number one, a Bankcode customers. So you can start as a customer, or you can become an affiliate and a Bankcode customer. You can choose both, or one fine day you may decide to come for our Code Breaker Summit. Okay, you can do all this in combination or in the order that when you feel you're ready, by all means you can do it. Okay, so remember, it is in your moment of decision that your destiny is shaped. Tony Robbins quote. So the question for you, imagine if I were to offer a Code Breaker Summit to you right now. Okay, remember the investment is US 1299. What if I'm giving you this offer? Now, just hang on for a minute. Jack, are you selling me something? No. Today, I'm making this offer, but you don't need to say yes to me. In fact, even though you want to give money to me, I'm not going to accept it. I will explain to you why. But let me just share with you this offer. Number one, you remember that the Code Breaker Summit includes level 1 bank fundamentals. It includes 1 level 2 speed coding course. The Bankcode subscription for this offer, I'll give you the first month subscription. So this is given to you as a package. And I'll give you also 1 year bank affiliate subscription. What if I decide to support you using our WhatsApp group and Telegram group? Like what other graduates in the last 4 classes, I'm still supporting them, WhatsApp and Telegram. And you may know that how long? For as long as I live in the world. How about that? I don't have any limit of time. If I decide to go back to the heaven tomorrow, then I'm sorry. There's something that I don't want to happen. But imagine if I were to stay in this world for another 20 years, then your support is 20 years. So how cool is that? Your call. So imagine you continue having a hands-on support by me in the live event. You have my team and direct access to me, plus the course materials, tools, and resources. And the total value, if you add up, is $6,500 US. Now, there's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you to sit back, relax, and just invest $12.99. $12.99. So you see, $12.99 is not just the Code Breaker Summit. I'll give you the bank affiliate 1 year subscription, as well as the Bankcode first month, plus lifetime WhatsApp group and Telegram group support. So $12.99. But Jack, how should I enroll right now? Where should I sign up? This is the deal. After this webinar, I'm going to give you a link. The link is this. I want to make sure everybody that come to me are committed. And I'm very sorry to say that many times I've got people coming to me and say, Jack, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that. I'm getting sick and tired for the fact that people are only interested but not committed. So I've decided even for this webinar, I'm not going to send a link for you to apply, for you to actually apply for the courses. Just like that. I want you to do something very serious because I want to make sure that you are successful. Because if you come to my classes, the only thing I want from you is success and nothing else. I don't really care what you do. I just want you to be successful. And I'm so passionate about this. So therefore, I've decided, I've made an executive decision just a few hours before I complete this webinar presentation, that I'm going to give you this link called Bank with Jack, which is a bit.ly link. This link, I will go to send it to you after the webinar. And this link will have a form that you have to fill. There are altogether 9 questions. If you don't answer any question, I won't even accept you for even as my Bank Pass user, affiliate, or coming for my Code Breaker Summit. Because I may not know you. I want to know how committed you are first. If you choose not to fill in the form, too bad. You are not my customers. I'm fine with that. See? That is my mindset. Many salespeople are so desperate to chase for money, to chase for client. I am telling you that if you don't do this, don't come to me. If you don't want to do anything, don't come to me. If you have money to throw at me, I'll throw it back to you. That's it. You see how I am different from other people. I'm not actually making a joke here. You see, I don't smile. I'm very serious on this. If you don't fill up this form, I am not going to even talk to you. So we may not be doing businesses, but that's okay. Because I know there are still many other people who need help. I'm going to help people who want to be helped. It may not be you, who cares? I don't give a damn. That's me. People who know me, I can carry this attitude because I truly want to help people who want to be helped. But if you are not serious type, as I can see that suddenly one person has dropped out already, that's good because I don't even need to help the person who decides to drop out. Why? In the mind of the person, maybe I'm arrogant, maybe it's not a right fit, or maybe after a while thinking that, remember the thing I said, wow, the cost of investment is expensive. The moment you think that the cost is expensive, it will be always expensive. Remember the 2 questions that I've asked you to think about. Number 1, can I recover the investment? 2, how fast can I recover the investment? And by the way, do you even believe in yourself that you can do it? If you can't, then that's not a good fit for me. You see, I'm always giving reason to push you back. I don't want your business. I don't want your money. I only want to work with people who are really serious about their life. That's me. And I'm not kidding you. I would rather work with one person who wants 100% attention to change their life rather than so many other people out there who say I'm interested, who are just noise. I would love to help people who want to be helped. That's me. So if you are serious, bit.ly.com/bankwithjack. The application form is there. 9 questions, all are required to be completed. If you decide to invest, fill up the form. Only then I will consider. I will send, either I will be talking to you or my closers will be talking to you. Either way, that's fine. My closers are bank trained. They know how to close and they know how to find out more about whether this product or services are good fit to you. And that's my way of training my guys to do the job so that you may not be even speaking to me. How cool is that? I've already built my team of closers to do this. So if you believe that I can do something for you, then fill this form using this link. With that, that's the end of this webinar. And if you do have any concerns, you can private message me and I will send an email after this webinar to all of you to acknowledge that this webinar is over. I will give you some idea of how to proceed and I'll just remind you this link. I'll give you exact instruction how to apply and what's the consequences of not replying to me in this phone. Okay? So with that, I hope you enjoyed this presentation, Why They Buy. I look forward to seeing you either online or in one of my CBS in Singapore, potentially maybe elsewhere, I don't know. But with that, thank you very much. Have a good evening if it's at night. Have a good morning if it's daytime. And have an awesome lunch if it is lunchtime. Jack Wong here. I'm signing off, and bye for now.